Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we are back to discuss Season 2 of Black Summer. We're going to be talking about Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4. I do not know the titles!
I don't either.
Oh my god.
First one's Card Game.
It's called what?
Card game.
Card Game. Ah.
I still did not understand that fucking card game. Whatever.
You weren't supposed to. Okay. I'll look them up in a minute. So what... this fucking show. What do we think?
I like it.
The show?
I told you that for that. I had to rewatch that first one we had to watch because like so much shit happened in that episode. I kept missing shit.
Wait, episode 3?
Yes.
Oh.
Was it because people were dying left and right, and I just look up and it's like 2 people. I'm like, where the fuck did everybody go?
And you know, I've said this a lot of times, but it remains true. I love when I can know what's going to happen. Like, I knew all those people were going to die because we already have been here, right? With Rose and Anna and all those dead bodies. But when you can still be, like, interested, even though you know what's going to happen, like, how is it going to happen? You know? Like, the fact that I was still so interested throughout this episode 3 anyway, it just shows how good it is. Because I honestly could not understand how we went from where it started, even though it was just so filled with tension, to how is everybody dead. But then again, then we got to know, what was the son's name? Sonny? That one that was out. That one that was still alive. Yeah, no, not the one outside. The one outside was Jimmy or Freddie.
Freddie.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry.
Oh, the other son.
Yeah, that was Sunny.
Sorry, I get all these white boy Freddie, Sonny, Donnie.
What happened to him? I don't remember what happened to him.
Who?
The Sonny.
We'll talk about it. All right. So episode 3, The Manor. My notes, you guys. All right. Anyway, let's talk about this episode. My notes for this is kind of all over the place because it's really hard for me to take notes on this show because you're trying to pay attention. When you don't know what's going on, it's really hard to write down what's going on. You know, I'm like, okay, I guess. I don't know what this is going to lead to, but my first notes for this episode under The Manor is, I don't know what's going on, but the mom and her son suck. Like, can you, honestly, I can think of nothing more just depressing and would make me want to just fucking jump off a bridge than getting pregnant, finding out you're having a son, raising that son to an adult, and then he's just a piece of shit. Like, that is probably one of my greatest fears, is that Jack is going to end up being a piece of shit. And we can't let that happen.
We will not let that happen.
We will not let that happen.
Was a piece of shit too.
This is true. Absolutely true. Like, we can see how this family was so fucked up. But in general, though, the men on this show are trash. There are very few good men. And it's just so fucking annoying. I'm so tired of these men. But yeah, they were the worst for no fucking reason. They were, especially that Sonny. And he triggered a response in me that I honestly didn't realize. No, I'm serious, because I didn't realize how uptight I was getting, but he reminds me of my ex-husband, honestly. And the fact that I could see it, like, he was picking fights, you know, he would just wait until it was quiet. And where the fuck are y'all doing? And what is this card game? And why are you going by yourself? And why are you getting more food? Like, and then just standing there waiting. So anytime his, like, attention was on someone else, like his mother, where it should be, that's your fucking mistake. You deal with them. And then what's the girl's name that
Which
died?
one?
Rhonda. And then she would, like, interject to be like, oh, everybody's just tired. And then he would snap at her. I was like, stop fucking talking to him. Just Stop. Because he's just looking for a reason to be fucking...
She didn't deserve to die the way she died.
Yeah, like, she reached for the gun, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why she did that.
She was getting tired of him.
Oh, yeah, there's better ways. Like, honestly. She would have been... I'm not even kidding. There was times when I was just like, you just need to, like, pretend like you're going to hand them some food and shoot these fuckers in the head. Because they are the worst. Then I have in my notes, why is a nigga hiding upstairs? What the fuck?
And he's been hiding before people got here.
Yeah. When she went upstairs to go to the bathroom, I was like, Kaylee. Who is that?
And how the fuck? It's just like did they? I don't know if they ever said how long they had been there, but it's just like how they not know this dude's like living upstairs, moving around.
And I feel like they've been there, at least Rhonda and her husband and that older woman, for at least a day or so, right? Because they had like
radio communication,
a process, yeah. And they were like, oh, it usually this, and he, and I guess what they were saying was they would go out there for those supply drops,
right?
And they don't know what's in them, but anyway, you want to know what my next note is for this episode? Why is this card game so confusing? I did not. Wait, what was the game?
She said it was, I forgot the
like
name.
Hearts.
Yeah, it was like Hearts or Spades.
But she said,
alternate version of it.
She said something like...
They have past, future, present, like...
Yeah, but no, she said something before. Like, she described, like, the mechanism of the game and said it's like Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, but, like, is that just a thing everybody knows how to play, Hearts? Because...
Well, Hearts is very similar to Spades. It's just a different...
Okay, but, like, again, would you know... If I said, how do you play Spades, would you know the rules of Spades?
No.
Thank you. Because you're white. But if I said, do you know the rules of Hearts, would you be able to tell me the rules of Hearts?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to play Hearts more than I played Spades.
What about Crazy Eights?
No.
What about Gin Rummy?
No.
What fucking card games do you know?
Well, because I grew up in Michigan, so it was euchre. Euchre's, and that's like... but I don't remember how to play it. But that was the game that everybody played, which is also a spin-off of Hearts and Spades.
Yeah. Before the internet was the way it is, like, amazing, like, back when it was, like, early internet, I used to love playing card games. Like... That was like, because there was like really nothing, you know what I mean? Like to play on the internet, you're like playing poker games, card games, Minesweeper, Solitaire.
We had to entertain ourselves somehow.
Oh my god! But yeah, I remember like
Solitaire by ourselves.
But I remember like buying those, like like I forget the name of the company, but like you'd go to like wherever we would go to get our games, like Electronics Boutique or
wasn't it Hoyle or.
Yes, Hoyle. Thank you. I could not think of the name. But remember, I used to buy
they would
them?
have like the
puzzle packs.
20 games at one or some shit.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how I used to know rules to those games. But like the only one I remembered absolutely is Spades, because that's the only one I ever played in real life. The rest of them would just be like on the computer. But anyway, they're like playing this card game, and he's like, "All right, I'll play." And then they're like, "It's like so and so. You have to do this." And he was like, "What?" And then she was like, "Okay, past, present," and then he just puts out a card, and she's like, "No,
you can't do that one."
She's like, "You got to play your highest card." And I was like, "How do you know that's not his highest card?"
Right?
And his dumb, he just took it back, and he's like, "Okay," and he was like, "I don't understand this," and I was like, "I don't think you're supposed to. I think they just want you to leave." This is some mean girl shit. You can't play with us. So they make the husband leave to go check one of the supply drops, even though it's
okay,
like
that's who left. Okay, that's
yeah.
I was confused. He's the one that got chased at the beginning, right?
Yes, he's the one that was tied up to the tree in the beginning.
Oh, okay. I didn't get that.
Johnny, did you watch the episode?
I did, but I didn't like it because of how everything's out of order. I missed that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the guy who was tied to the tree, and the officer Ray and his guys were asking him where the house was.
Got it.
And he's like, I just want to get back to my wife. That's who that was. So he leaves to go get supplies, and they hugged like they knew that was the last time. Which I guess in a zombie apocalypse, every goodbye has to be like, you know, like if you potentially like, But, okay, so up a tree. So they're playing card games. The old lady is knitting a sweater, and I gotta say, I got it. He's like, what the fuck are you doing? She was like, it's cold. We're making a sweater. I was like, sis, you're in a mansion. I think there's sweaters upstairs. But I get it. She had to keep her hands busy, whatever. So Sonny goes upstairs with Rhonda because he wants her to try the radio again. And then, like, it was stuff like this that I was just like, I hate men so much. Especially white ones. But, like, she's, like, on the radio, and he just starts turning dials. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? What the fuck are you doing? I'm like, oh, he had to be on something, right? Or is he just a dick?
I don't know. He is just weird.
So then, and then that's when the axe goes missing, because Rhonda set the axe down before she went in the room with the one brother. And then when Sonny shows up, they leave and the axe is gone, and she's like, it was right there. And then later he's like, where's the axe? What did you do with it? And I'm like, oh, I don't know. It just felt like he was on drugs. So then they make Freddie go get the wood because she don't like him. Mom likes the other one better, clearly. And so, like, Kaylee and I were like, oh, he's going outside. We know that he doesn't go back in until morning, right? When Rose finally lets him in and then everybody's dead.
Right.
But then we were laughing because he was out there and he went in the garage where the husband had left, and he left the garage door open. Remember?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets the wood, and then he runs out and he falls and he drops the wood. And I was like, at one point I said to Kaylee, would it be funny if he actually does go back in the house and then they send him out again? The mother, and then he's like, but it's Sonny's turn. And she's like, go anyway. And then that's the time. Yeah. But, so he ends up climbing a tree. And so that's where he was when we first met him, right? And then feedback loop. Okay, so they never talk about this, but when I'm trying to remember, like, she went upstairs to try the radio, right? Like, why was she alone with the radio? Rhonda was alone with the radio when Sonny shows up, or did he take her up there? I just felt like he walked in on her talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. And I couldn't tell.
I thought it was somebody different. Like they were starting to get somebody different.
And that's what she was saying. And then they stopped. And so he was like, well, what were they saying? And he was being really weird. And I remember thinking, oh, the name of this section is feedback loop. I wonder if she is listening to a frequency where somebody has a recording going out. You know what I mean? Like a emergency thing or whatever. But they never went back to that, right? Because he broke it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That just felt like that would have been important. But anyway, Sonny kills Rhonda, and then she turned fast as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they must be dying instantly, and then turning within a moment. It's so fast. I can't get over how fast it is. And I knew from when she chased Sonny in that living room that old lady was dead. I just thought she was still going to be sitting there knitting, like, scared, like, holding the knitting needle. But she was standing against the wall, and then, they kill her, right? And then they throw the bodies out. That's what they did with no, wait, did they throw the bodies out? I don't think they did.
Yeah, they said there's 4 bodies.
In the next episode, when they come up, they said there's 4 bodies outside. But no, they
Oh yeah,
that
because
would've been after the
because
guy
he
came in
helped
with the
her.
whip.
Yeah,
he
because
made her. Remember, they made him move the bodies.
yes, that's right.
But because they started accusing her of taking their rations, she just fucking shot him.
Okay, no, but what Kaylee and I were trying to figure out when they were playing that game together after Rhonda died, and the old woman died, and then it's just Sonny and his mom sitting by the fire. They were playing the card game. They were talking to each other with that card game.
Communicating with the cards. Yeah,
Yeah.
They were like sending each other signals.
Right.
Of like which one to kill and who gets what, I guess.
But then she tells, like, they shoot, and then she tells her daughter not to look, like,
Yeah.
like she just not to look at the person she shot, like.
She's getting on. She's
like,
getting on.
look.
Yeah. She's getting on Anna's nerves. She's like, put your coat on. Anna's like, I'm fine, Mom. It's like 90 degrees in here. Leave me alone. Anna's so sick of her shit. And then when she told Anna before, don't let them take you alive, I was like, Anna might go out just to get away from you, lady. Don't tell her that. So yeah, they kill them both. And then it's just them. And
So
then
we don't know how the old lady died?
The woman killed her. Rhonda ate her.
Oh.
Yeah, she bit her and then Rose shot her.
Rose shot her.
Okay.
Rose shot and killed the woman. Rose don't play when it comes to that. Neither does Officer Ray, apparently. But anyway. Okay, so back to this episode, The River. And then I just have, so like they killed him, and then the new title card is The River, and it's like, well, back to cards. They're back to playing cards. Like they didn't just kill everybody in that house. Anyway, they're falling.
And then Axe was the last one, right?
Yeah, they fell asleep upstairs.
He just had this guy come up to him with an axe.
Peeking.
Why was this episode called? I mean, not this episode. Why was this part called The River? We never really saw a river.
I think that's the cards. Like that's
The yeah.
move on cards.
That's The river is a hand in poker, or is it a not a river?
It's I don't know, but I know it's a hand.
It's either a hand or a move. If that makes sense. River poker term. Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So the river card, or just river, is the last card dealt. In most community poker games, the dealer starts each hand by dealing each player 2 whole face-down cards. Then the progression is betting round, flop, betting for the blah blah, and then finally the river to end the hand. That's it.
Okay, so then it's basically
that's right. Because remember when the dealer puts out the first 4 cards, that last card is the river, right. And that's going to determine that, you know, it's important because that's your last chance to make a good hand.
Right.
Yeah. Good question. All right, so episode 4. Oh, wait, before we move on, I just want to say, I'm so stressed that you guys don't get this by now. Why the fuck are they sleeping with doors open? That stressed me out to no end.
Because zombies can't open doors.
So why are they sleeping with the doors open?
Because they can't get into the house.
Well, you don't know that. Like, you just don't, like...
But as we see with maps, you can just run doors down.
See, this is... I don't know. I don't want to be in the apocalypse with y'all. Y'all lazy. Y'all just too... You gotta sleep with the doors.
They haven't gotten to the point, like in The Walking Dead or something, where they're barricading themselves in. They haven't got to that point yet. Like, they don't even lock doors enough. They just not putting... Like, you got to put some bookcase or some shit in front of the door. Do you remember,
like, when the husband left and he opened the door of the garage to get the zombie's attention so he could open the garage door and leave? Like, he's like, hey, and then he closes the door. He doesn't even, there's a lock on it. Like, lock it. It cannot hurt. I just don't understand. It just bugs me so much. It's like such a simple thing to do that... And then to not do it could be disastrous. So just fucking do it. Anyway. Episode 4 is when Sun wakes up, right? Because she had crashed on the what is that? A snowmobile. I almost said jet ski. Mm-hmm. The snowmobile that the husband had taken. So now we know it's like come full circle. Like where all these people came from. And the cop and his crew make Sun follow them because they're still planning to take the house. So they're like scoping everything out. Meanwhile, inside the house, Rose sees that, knows that this is going on, and she is refusing to give Freddie a gun to help, and she tells Alice to go upstairs and guard the window, and if she sees anybody coming towards the house, shoot, and if they get inside, don't let them take you alive. And I was like, that girl ain't ever gonna be right again.
She was making Freddie go by the windows too.
She really was. He was like, can I please?
Like, out that window.
He was like, can I please have a fucking gun?
If you get shot, we know they're here.
And there's no way I'm giving a gun to the man whose mother and brother I killed. Like, I still don't even know why he was alive, to be honest.
Right.
At that point.
Well, yeah, and she even said, like, the episodes before, like, I don't know how useful you are yet.
Right. And well, the mother said.
This episode he wasn't.
The mother said. Well, the mother said you're both fucking useless. Do you remember that? Yep. And then kissed him on the mouth. I was like, bleh. So yeah, they make Son stand up waving this white flag, which did absolutely like nothing, by the way.
Like, I feel like Rose and them didn't even see her. Like,
well, Rose did look out.
Where they were looking out the windows and they couldn't see anybody.
No, but there's a scene where Rose looks out and she sees very clearly. I don't know if she recognized it as Son though.
It wasn't. She couldn't see who was waving it. She just saw the flag because there was something
Okay.
covering her body.
Okay, got it. So they were making her just do it as like a distraction or something.
I don't think so, because they weren't even the first
trying
ones
to get
fire
her
the
to
shots.
actually, like,
yeah, they were genuinely
like,
trying to
give up
get
and get
inside.
her. Yeah.
But no, they were planning on like shooting their way in anyway. If she didn't,
Yeah.
Right? So like, I don't know.
But I
It just
say she
feels
was a distraction.
not a distraction, but like while you're looking out the window at her, the other guys were like surrounding the house, and then when they finally got into position, he's like, throw your gun out and show me your hands, or we're in count to 10 and we're going to shoot our way in and I'll kill everybody in the house. That's not a white flag speech. You know what I mean? Like, I just couldn't I guess it was supposed to at first put them at ease, but everything they did was like counter to that. Like, I don't know. But she didn't know it was Son.
Mm.
Okay. Poor Son. Never mind. I guess we'll find out. Truce. But there was no truce. And he was like, if we're coming in, if I hear one more shot, I'm just shooting in. And then you hear a shot from upstairs. Cause, what's her name? Anna? Mm-hmm. That guy was coming up because now it's his people and that other group that followed
the
them.
other group came up. Yeah.
Right. So then when they started shooting into the house, Freddie gets shot, right? Mm-hmm. And Anna's upstairs, because she done set shit off. And Rose picks up Freddie. And she's like, come on, we got to get down to the basement. He's like, what about your daughter? She's like, there's no time. And then she throws him down the basement. Rose is hardcore. So she did that because she knew he was dying.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Which worked out when they started getting into the basement.
That was just some basement shenanigans, man. The one guy sneaks in there, and the guy the guy who Anna shot at runs, right? He ends up fighting one of the cop guys, right? In the tactical gear. Mm-hmm. And then a zombie comes up, and that tactical guy is dealing with the zombie, so he runs off, and he bumps into someone, and then, like, we follow that someone. Mm-hmm. And that's the someone who goes down in the basement, right? And then gets eaten. He gets bitten.
He gets bitten, and then he kills
bitten.
himself.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then he kills himself.
When we started this episode, it gave us that suicide warning, and me and Mama were like, what?
I know. So then when Anna fired that shot, I was like, Kaylee, did Anna kill herself?
We were like, the entire time we were waiting to see who would kill themselves, we were scared on who it would be.
Because, I mean, you tell her, don't let them take you alive, but then, like, what if somebody enters the room that's, like, a good person, but she doesn't know that, and she's thinking, well, mama said I gotta die instead of go with you. Like, so I was just worried, like, the axe guy came in there to help her some shit, and she was, like, out of bullets. She had the one left, and she was like, fuck it, you can't take me alive. So then Relief is the next section, right? And Rose is, like, we follow her through the house. Again, it just feels like you're watching, like, live action war footage. And it's just insane because there's, like, zombies, there's the tactical guys.
And they're creating the zombies. Like, that was the fucked up thing, because there wasn't really any. It was just a one zombie in that area. But all the gunfire, they were just creating more zombies by shooting each other.
And they turned so fast.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't keep track of, like, you know, and I guess they're all technically bad. But then, like, that other woman, the Asian woman that we saw in the other episode, saves son. And so you think, oh, that they're going to be allies or something, because then she saves her.
Mm-hmm.
But then when the cop comes in, she's with them.
Yeah.
Now, is that something I'm trying to remember, because she joined up with the other group when they were scavenging those people's truck, remember? And they let her, because she had a weapon, they let her get up on the truck and, like, look through the stuff too.
Yeah.
And then she was with them later when they were questioning the guy tied to the tree, trying to get information about the house. So, did she, in that moment, decide to join the cops? When she put her gun up? Like, when Rose was, like, clutching the thing and she's like, oh, it's us against you. And then she turns around and the woman puts her gun up. She wasn't with the cops before. So was that her officially joining them?
I guess.
This bitch. I can't wait for her to die. And then how these guys in this episode, they clear rooms the way Donnie plays video games.
They were so bad. Like,
I know.
They were hiding in the clousets. Like, the guy wouldn't even check closets.
He didn't look to his right.
Wouldn't even check the bathroom. Like,
he would, like, enter a room, look to his left only, never once look, like, even turn to his left to leave the room. Like, it's like, Jesus Christ. It's like, you don't want to look in that direction. But when Rose and Anna are hiding in a bathtub, the two tactical guys come in, and the axe guy saw them first, and he was trying to tell them, like, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm not, you know, shh. And then when the tactical guys show up, they don't kill him, which is weird, because I thought they were killing people.
Mm-hmm.
Or were they, right? Like, or they, I don't know. It was just weird that they didn't kill him, to me. And he tells them that he can take them to the airstrip because he knows the pilot. And I don't know if I believe all that, but... So did they keep the house or not? Nobody has...
No, I think everybody left the house, right?
So what was the point?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like we're missing something. Like, there must have been something out there that told us something about this house that we just haven't seen yet, because
the radio is up there.
He was questioning them at the tree, like, where's the house and all this stuff. It's like, what the fuck is this? Like, how do people know about this house? The only thing at the house was the radio, which is now destroyed.
But I was thinking the same thing as you, but didn't Rhonda say her and her husband brought that radio? Or did they say they...
Yeah, they did say that.
Yeah, other than that, because at first I thought it was because they thought the plane was, like, at the house or something like that, but it's not. It's at it's an airstrip, which it's supposedly a mechanic knows where it's at.
All right, so I'm going to pull up the feedback. I will tell you, while I do that, we have a poll up if you guys haven't seen it already. It's to pick the show that's going to replace this one. And I almost fucked up by, like, spoiling it, but we each picked a show and put it on the poll, and you guys can vote, and it's open until, like, next week Thursday, I think. The 3 shows that you're choosing from are, and I'm not telling you who picked which show, but me, Donnie, and Kaylee each picked one of these shows. The Girl from Nowhere, which is on Netflix. The Mysterious Benedict Society, which is on Disney Plus, and Squid Game, which is coming to Netflix in the next few days, I think. And so you guys have already been voting. There's one that's like way ahead, and then the next 2 are basically tied for second. So if you're interested, go check out the poll up on our Patreon. It's open to the public, and I linked trailers for all 3 shows, so if you don't know what they're about, you want to get an idea, the trailers are there to help you decide. All right, so we have feedback from Kimberly, who says, hello everyone. Good morning everyone. Sorry, that's a BTS thing. All right, it looks as if Patreon ate my comments for episode 2. I can't stand Patreon. I'm in that regard. I'm so sorry. I will have to check that the post is still there before reusing the document in the future. Oh, yeah. So that pure MAGA older white woman Rose and her daughter encountered worked my nerves from the moment I saw her and her equally creepy son. Listen, how many times did I look over at you, Kaylee, and say, "Why? Just kill them. Why aren't they killing them? Just kill them. These are not good. They're not good." You know what I mean? Like, you can just tell they're not good people outside of this situation. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, some people you could just tell that they're good people. Like, Barbara was a good person. William was a good son, is a good person. Aww. I have a question, Donnie. The mom that she's talking, the MAGA mom, I don't remember her name. She had a rash on her neck. Did you see the axe guy scratch his neck in the bathroom when he was talking to Rose and Anna?
No.
Oh. Because he has a scarf around his neck. Like a really big...
Right.
Yeah, and I was like, why? But I mean, it is cold. It's the winter time and it's cold in that house. I get it.
They're up in the fucking mountains.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But like he was talking to her and then he kind of like scratched at his neck and I was like, And it was like,
and remember, she wanted some kind of lotion or something.
She wanted
right?
cream, right? And they said, well, why? Like, I think she even asked. She's like, where's that from? And she was like, or how long has she had it or something? And the son said, I think it's just stress. Mm-hmm. And I was like, Anyway, I knew both of their entitled, we have a whole lot to say, but not a whole lot of value to bring to the table, as we tell everyone else to risk their lives while we refuse to do anything except stay white and die. Asses had to go. Was it just me, or was little Sunny Boy MAGA giving no woman better be unfortunate enough to be alone in a room with me vibes when he interacted with Rose and her daughter? He did. Because he, out of nowhere, he's like, why do you smell so good? And I was like, Jesus Christ, men are absolute trash. This episode is a prime example of why flashback narratives like the one being presented do not always work. We have seen enough major players on this show taken out that we had not already known the outcome of Rose and her daughter being the only ones in the house who live. This episode could have really had me on the edge of my seat. As it was, I was left waiting for the outcome that was already provided. See, I absolutely disagree, because I still thought it was tension-filled, because I just didn't know how we got there. Also, I think it helps that when we first got there, it's just dead bodies. We didn't know who these people were. But then it pretty quickly established that some of these people are good, Rhonda and the old lady, and some are trash. So then it was just a matter of who's going to get to who first. And for me, that was enough tension. Mm-hmm. I liked it. Okay, so episode 4, she says, this was not my favorite episode. Why? Because it was a lot. How about when that one tactical guy was like fighting off a zombie and then he killed him, and then the cop, Ray, walked up and he was like, I'm good. And he goes, man, I'm good. And he killed him anyway? Mm-hmm. Was he good? He didn't even bother to check and see if he was bitten or anything.
Well, yeah, he was acting pretty calm, so I'm assuming he wasn't. Like, I think you could tell if you're bitten. You can feel you're getting bitten.
Yeah, he didn't feel like he was, like, lying or trying to hide anything. He was like, no, I'm legit good. And he killed him anyway. Mm-hmm. But then, like I said, like, afterwards, he didn't even go check the body to see if because he didn't care. Would you want to know if you killed some? Because you don't care. Never mind. It's a stupid question. Kaylee wouldn't check.
What?
You wouldn't check, would you?
if someone was bitten or not, you think I'd kill them?
No. If you had already, if he was like, I'm fine, would you, well, first of all, would you have believed him or would you have shot him like Ray did?
I'd wait.
And wait for what? Wait for him to turn?
Yeah, and then shoot him.
They change, but that's the thing is that you don't know when they're going to turn, and then they
turn soon after they turn soon after they die. Right. But I don't think
it's so fucking fast, and they're so fast.
But notice that the guy who got eaten or bitten a few times that killed himself in that basement. Mm-hmm. Notice like I just feel like you could probably be sick for a minute. Like if they bite you and it's not a fatal wound, like the old lady was bitten on her neck, and that's something that I would imagine that would kill you fairly quickly, sooner than later. But like if that guy, when he first got bitten, it was on the arm. If he had killed that zombie, I think the bite will eventually kill you, but I don't think it's like fast, right? Like typically it's like you get a fever, you know, that type of thing in zombie shows. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. But okay, Kaylee, so if you had shot him right away, like if you didn't believe him and you were like, I'm not taking a chance, and you shot him, would you check his body?
Oh, no.
See? Because why, right? Like, why would you do that to yourself? Because if you check his body and he was fine, then what?
Well, I mean, I just also wouldn't care.
Exactly. Because that's...
Even if I'd be like, oh, well.
That's exactly what I was saying. I was like, but if you're the type of person that would have shot him regardless, then you're not the type of person to check, right? Because it doesn't... You've already decided it doesn't matter, right? Okay. Anyway, she says, don't you dare use Sun as bait and a shield. Now, this show has really turned me into someone who wants a whole bunch of people to die. Mm-hmm. Do I feel bad? No, because everyone I am rooting against is the absolute worst. Kaylee and I just recorded for Signal, and I won't spoil it in case you haven't watched the episode yet, you haven't listened yet. There was a character, I was like, yeah, I'm not really upset that that person died. Anyway, finally she says, is it just me, or is the show making a real commentary on all of America militia assholes that populate this country? What did I tell you, Kaylee? There are so many men that are just waiting for something like this. It's their moment to shine. Because men are trash. I'm sorry. That's not why we're here. Anyway, so that's it, you guys. We have, oh my god, I forgot how short these seasons are. Is it 6 or 8 episodes?
I think it's only 8.
Oh, okay. All right. So we'll be back next week, right? With episodes 5 and 6?
Yep.
Yeah, 5 and 6. And don't forget to vote on our next show. We'll be kicking that one off as soon as we're done with Black Summer in a couple of weeks. So make sure you go vote on patreon.com/podcastfandom. If you are not signed up for our premium podcast coverage, you might want to consider getting in on that. We are covering Attack on Titan, What If, Titans, what else? I'm forgetting. Oh, I just said it. Signal, Money Heist, and we are adding Why the Last Man. I'm so excited about that show. It begins on FX in a couple of weeks. It is based off of a graphic novel series by Brian K. Vaughan, who's one of my favorite writers. I have been waiting forever for them to adapt this. I hope they do it justice. I'm not even expecting perfection. I just want to enjoy it. But it's about a show. Wait, one second. It's about a show in which there's some sort of like virus that breaks out and all the men die. Except one. Why? The Last Man. So, yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Okay, Donnie, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that he came out the other day and said he has a 5 seasons planned for it.
Who?
Brian K. Vaughan.
Well, people better watch it, and FX better give him 5 seasons. You know?
Mm-hmm.
You can have all the plans in the world, but if you don't have the audience, then... Anyway, so that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.